If you are struggling to stay organized in life, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to break down the 2 things that you can do to instantly transform your life. It's going to make you more productive. It's going to make you more organized. It's going to make you mentally cleared up. It's going to make you, actually do the things you want to do. And it's going to make you feel good while you're doing it. It's going to help you feel more motivated. It's going to help you feel more inspired. At the end of the day, like I said, the benefits are going to be there for you to see. Okay. So if you're somebody who's struggling to stay organized, productive, and motivated, okay, these are the 2 things that I would recommend. Number 1, change your values, change your mindset. Meaning, if I told you, hey, if you give me a good enough reason, I'll give you $1 million. Or if you go to somebody and you say, hey, would you like to be rich? And they say yes, and you ask them why. Or if you go to somebody who's like working the 9 to 5, busting their ass off, and you're like, what's your motivation? What's your drive? And some people are like, oh, I just want to make enough money to smoke weed. Some people are like, oh, I just want to make enough money to pay my rent. Some people are like, oh, I just want to make enough money to support my family. But the thing is, I could have a job, you could have a job, and somebody else could have a job. But depending on what your value is, depending on the reason why you're there, it literally determines how successful you are, and it determines how successful you are in life. Meaning, if I'm only working to get enough money to pay my rent, it's not the same as the person who's working to feed his family. So you have to change your values, meaning you're unproductive because you're just living life just to live life. But you have to live life like you have a family. You have to live life like you have a purpose. You have to live life like you have something to live for. And it's one of those things where once you first change your mindset, you have something to live for. Once you first realize, okay, this is the thing that I need. You're like, I truly want to be successful because I want to buy my mama a house. I want to get out of the hood. I want to, whatever your value is, you find the value, right? Like, and that's going to be your foundation. Meaning when things don't work out, when you fail, you have the foundation to look back on. If I was only going to work to pay my rent, if I get fired, I'm just gonna be like, anyways, I'm gonna try to find a new job and then be like, oh, let me try to pay my rent some more. But if I'm working to feed my family, if I get fired, even if I don't get fired, I might pick up another job. I might try to work more hours. I might try to put in overtime. It's one of those things where I might just put in more work because I understand that there's so much value to what I'm doing. So the number 1 was changing your mindset and giving yourself a better value, because most people have a lame reason why they do things. Like if I ask you, why do you want a 6-pack? And you say, oh, I want a 6-pack, because I want to get girls. It's like, yes, that's good. But imagine if you wanted a 6-pack because you wanted to live an extra 5 years, because you know that working out to get a 6-pack makes you so healthy that health is going to transfer into longevity of your life. So now when you go work out, you're not saying, oh, when you miss a day, you're like, oh, like, this girl, I might still get a girl if I'm what I am now. But I'm not going to live as long if I don't work out. I'm not going to live as long if I'm not putting in the effort. So it's one of those things where depending on what reason you put in your head, you either stay motivated or you either get disencouraged, okay? And number two is pretty much make a list. The thing about lists is that statistically, historically, doctors used to literally kill patients because they wouldn't have lists. People would literally crash planes because they didn't have lists. But the moment lists came into the equation, meaning the doctor would have a prep list, meaning wash your hands, it'd be like put on the gloves, make sure this, make sure that, make sure you have this tool, make sure that the guy is ready, make sure nobody's falling asleep, make sure that the electricity is working. And having a list makes more people live, makes the doctor have more successful operations. Same with the pilot. Back then, people used to get in planes and forget to turn on the flap, forget to put the right wing up, and now the plane is crashing because they forgot that one thing. But the moment they introduce a checklist, when the pilot gets in the plane, hey, is the flap on? Oh, it is. Is the flap off? Oh, actually it was. Boom. And now more people are flying the plane and not crashing it because they have a list. So it's one of those things where if you have something that's truly valuable in your life, you're like, oh, I want to be rich because I want to support my family. I want to get my family at the hood. I want to start a family and be able to support my wife and kids. Whatever the value is, you have the drive to get up in the morning. But now you have the plan, you have the steps to do it. Meaning, you know what it is that you're doing it for, and now you know how to do it. Meaning, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this to get my family out the hood. And then you're making a step-by-step plan of how you're going to do it. So you're like, oh, I'm going to start working on my my fitness first. Then I'm going to start working on my mental health. Then I'm going to start working on making more money. Then I'm going to start working on, my love life. Then I'm going to start working on this. And you can literally make a five-step plan. And give yourself a year to achieve that thing. So the first 2 months, like I said, you're working out, getting crazy, looking good. The next 2 months, make sure you're mentally healthy, because now that you rewired your brain, make sure you're mentally healthy, because you're going to feel better, you're going to look good, and now you're going to mentally prepare yourself, right? Then you might go and you might start to, like I said, work on your entrepreneurial stuff. So you might be like, oh, now I look good, now I feel good. Let me try to make some more money so I can level up in the social market value, right? So now you're making more money, trying to level up. Like I said, within the next within the next 2 months, you got a new job. That's 4 paychecks you get. That's 4 extra incomes you have. Whether it's a side hustle, whether you start something new, or whether you just go and put in more hours, you're making more money, period. So now you're not even halfway through the year, and now you're fitter, you're mentally stable, and you make more money, right? And like I said, you're already improving. Then you keep going. Now you're like, hey, I'm mentally stable, I'm fit, and I'm making money. Now I want to be in a relationship. Now I want a wife. Now I want a girlfriend. Now I can handle it, So then boom, you go and do your thing. But the reason why it becomes easier is because you're already working on your other stuff. So you already have money, so you can go and take a girl on a date. You can have fun experiences. You're already mentally stable, so you don't need a girl because you were happy without her, and you could be happier with her. But at the end of the day, you want her, but you don't need her. And then 3, you have it all organized. You're happier because you look good, you feel good, and you have money. So it's like everything is going good for you, and now you get to go and talk to women, and you actually get more women because you have more money, because you're happier, because you're fit, and it's like it starts to compound. So then now you have a woman, and now you get to start your family because you actually have a woman that actually loves and cares for you, a woman who loves and appreciates you. So like I said, it's one of those things where at the end of the day, you can be as happy as you want to be. You can be more productive. You can be more inspired if you do these 2 things. Kind of like I said, it's about finding a value that actually matters, and then it's about finding a value that actually matters, and then it's about actually making the steps to achieve those values. Okay, but like I said, if you find this video helpful, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.